It's about 7:15 on a Tuesday, and I am standing on my back step in a pair of slippers looking up at a wasp nest the size of a walnut tucked right where the porch beam meets the wall. In my right hand is a spray bottle of water, dish soap, and about 20 drops of peppermint oil. In my left hand is the broom my wife uses for the kitchen floor, which she has not yet noticed is missing. Total cost of what's about to happen, $3. And the wasps don't know it yet, but by the time the street light comes on, that nest is coming down, nobody's getting stung, and the honeybees still working the bee balm by the fence aren't going to catch a single drop of anything that hurts them. I just want to stand here a second, though, because there's a moment right before you do a thing like this where you ask yourself if you really thought it through. The beagle is watching me from the screen door like he's already drafting the eulogy. My name's Walt. I'm not the fella in the white truck who pulls into your driveway once a month and hands you a clipboard. I'm a guy who got tired of watching neighbors poison their own porches when $2 of peppermint oil does the work cleaner and keeps doing it after the truck drives off. And what I want to show you tonight is the whole method, the spray, the cotton balls, the dusk move on a small nest, and just as important, the moment you put the broom down, walk inside and call somebody. Because there is a line, and I'll tell you where it is, and let me start with the part that bugs me, if you'll forgive the word. The monthly pest contract is not a cure, it's a business model. $60 a visit, $200 a visit, every month forever, because a one-time fix that actually works doesn't refill itself. Nobody can sell you a recurring bill for a bottle of peppermint oil and a bag of cotton balls, so they don't tell you about it. Simple as that. And those sprays they're putting down, they don't just kill the wasp on your railing, they drift onto the blooms in your yard. They're rough on the honeybees working your tomatoes. They're rough on the cat, rough on the dog walking through wet grass and then licking his paws on the kitchen floor. Read the back of one of those jugs sometime. Read it slow. You won't want it anywhere near the porch where the grandkids eat popsicles. Alright, let me back up out of the mad part and show you how this actually works, start to finish in the order I do it. First, let's talk about the thing most folks try, because I tried it too for a lot of years and I want you to know why it lets you down. You go to the hardware store, you grab the red can, $12, 20-foot jet stream right on the label, looks like a fire hose, and it works. On the one wasp you hit, drops it dead on the concrete, feels great. Problem is, you have not told the rest of the neighborhood to clear out. You shot one wasp. Tomorrow there'll be 20 more because nothing about that can said, don't land here. The can is a weapon. What you actually need is a sign on the door. That sign is a smell, and the smell wasps will not put up with is peppermint. Now I want to slow down before I go any further, because this part separates the folks who do it right from the folks who go to war. The wasps are pollinators. People forget that all the time. They work the flowers right alongside the bees, and they eat a tremendous number of garden pests. Caterpillars, aphids, flies that would otherwise be all over your potato salad. You actually want wasps in your yard, you just don't want them 6 inches from the back door or built into the underside of the kid's swing. So we are not trying to kill them, we are trying to move them along, make the porch smell like a place they refuse to land, and let them keep earning their keep out by the garden. Here's why peppermint does the job. A wasp gets around the world through its antennae. It reads the air for food, for nest mates, for trouble. A sharp, strong aromatic oil is like somebody clapping cymbals next to its ears. It can't read anything through that noise. Peppermint is one of the strongest oils on the shelf, and a wasp will not set up house in a place that reeks of it. Some researchers at a big land-grant university tested this a few years back. They put peppermint oil on cotton pads at spots where wasps were known to start new nests. The wasps refused to build. That study lines up exactly with what I've seen in my own yard year after year. So here is the method. 4 steps. Write it on the back of an envelope if you want. That's how I keep most of mine. Step 1. Get yourself a small bottle of pure peppermint essential oil. Any health food store, any Walmart, online, $2 to $4 for a little bottle. And 1 little bottle is more than enough for the whole house through the whole season. The thing to watch for on the label, it has to say peppermint essential oil, not peppermint extract. Extract is what you put in brownies. Essential oil is what we want. My brother-in-law Dale bought peppermint extract the first time he tried this, sprayed it all around his porch, told me his porch smelled like a candy cane, and the wasps did not seem to mind one bit. Read the label, folks. Save yourself the Dale phase. Step 2, mix yourself a spray. Any clean spray bottle works. An old cleaner bottle rinsed out is free, or $1 at the dollar store. Fill it with water. Add about a tablespoon of regular dish soap. Then add 15 to 20 drops of the peppermint oil. Give it a good shake and shake it again every time before you use it, because oil and water are not what you'd call close friends. The dish soap is doing real work in there. Soap breaks the surface tension so the oil actually mixes into the water instead of just sitting on top in little beads. Skip the soap and you'll spray plain water out of one squeeze and pure oil out of the next, and you'll wonder why nothing's working. 1 tablespoon of plain Dawn or whatever blue bottle is under your kitchen sink. That's all it takes. Step 3, this is the move the contract guys really do not want you to know about, because this is the one that costs them the next visit, and the one after that, and the one after that. Take 10 or 12 cotton balls and soak them in straight peppermint oil, not the spray. The oil itself right out of the little bottle. A few drops on each one until they're good and saturated. Then you tuck those cotton balls into the places wasps love to build. Where do they love to build? Up under the eaves of the porch, the little corner where the soffit meets the wall. Inside the grill you haven't opened since the cold snap last fall, and trust me, check the grill before you light it. That is a separate video I do not want to have to make. Under patio furniture, around the kids' playset, the hollow at the top of a fence post, anywhere there's a dry, sheltered overhang, you tuck a cotton ball right up in there. That smell sits in the protected pocket of air for 2 to 3 weeks. A queen scouting the spot in early spring flies up, gets a noseful, and turns around to look somewhere else. That's how you stop a nest before it ever starts. That's the whole game. Step 4, use the spray bottle for everything else. The porch railing, the window frames, the door frame, the underside of the patio chairs, the mailbox post out by the road, light coats. You are not painting a fence, you are perfuming the place. Mist and move on. Refresh the spray about once a week through wasp season. Refresh the cotton balls every 2 or 3 weeks, or after a hard rain that probably washed the cotton clean. That's the program. 15 minutes of work once a week for $3 a season. Now let me give you the honesty beat, because if I don't tell you what doesn't work, you've got no good reason to believe me about what does. You will see folks all over the internet swearing on their mother's biscuits that WD-40 sprayed under your eaves keeps wasps away. I have heard it for 30 years. It is a myth. WD-40 is a petroleum lubricant. It is not made to repel insects. It is not tested to repel insects, and the company that makes the can does not claim it repels insects. What it does is leave a slick, oily film. Some folks think it works because a wasp can't easily glue a nest right onto a slick surface, but the wasp will just slide over half an inch and build on the dry wood beside it. You haven't deterred a thing. You've just put a petroleum product on your siding right above where the dog lays in the shade. Skip it. Same goes for the brown paper bag trick. You crumple up a paper bag and hang it under the eave to look like a hornet's nest, and the theory is wasps won't build near another colony. Cute idea. Doesn't hold up. I have personally watched paper wasps build 6 feet from a fake nest, perfectly content. Save your paper bag for your groceries. Peppermint is the one that's been tested and the one that holds up. Stick with what works. Alright, let me say a word about an active nest, because somebody watching tonight has one over their head right now and they want to know what to do before they go to bed. Here's the rule. If the nest is small, smaller than a golf ball, just a queen and a few cells starting out in April or May, you can take it down yourself with the peppermint spray, but you do it at dusk, not noon, not 3 in the afternoon when it's hot and they're feeling lively. Dusk. Why dusk? Because wasps fly during the day and come home at night. At dusk, every wasp in that little colony is back inside. They're sluggish from the cool air, and nobody's out hunting. You don't have stragglers coming home to find their house gone and looking for somebody to blame. It is the single safest time, and it's been the right answer since my granddaddy's day, when nobody had a red can to reach for in the first place. Now here's how you do it. Long sleeves, long pants, closed shoes, Not slippers, I will say. Learning from my own poor choices. Take a flashlight. If you've got a red lens, use it. If you don't, put a piece of red cellophane over a regular flashlight with a rubber band. Wasps don't see red light well, so you can see them just fine, and you don't stir them up. You walk up quiet. You soak that small nest with the peppermint spray until it is dripping. You wait a minute, then you knock it down with a long stick or a broom handle, and you walk away. Not run, walk. Done. And now here is the part that matters most, because this is the line. If the nest is bigger than a baseball, if it's tucked up inside a wall, if it's a yellow jacket nest in the ground, that is not a Saturday project, that is a phone call. I mean that. A mature yellow jacket nest in the ground will send 100 angry insects at your face in about 4 seconds, and they can sting you over and over. That is the kind of thing that puts a grown man in the hospital. Find a local fella, not a national contract, somebody you can call once, pay once, and shake hands with. Knowing the difference between what you can handle and what you can't is half of doing this right. Most folks who get stung bad got stung because they were too proud to make the call. Don't be that fella. Let me widen out for a second, because this matters past the dollars. When you put a broad chemical pesticide around your house every month, you are not aiming it at one wasp. You're putting a residue on every flower in the bed, every blade of grass, every puddle the bee drinks from, every patch of dirt the dog rolls in. That residue does exactly what it was built to do. It kills insects. All of them, including the ones working your tomatoes and your apple tree and your cucumbers. The honeybee in this country is having a hard enough year without our back porches being a hazard zone. And the dog walks on his pads, and then he licks his pads. Whatever's on the grass is in him by supper time. That's not something I'd do to a good dog. I doubt you would either. And $3 of peppermint does the job and doesn't hand anybody else the bill. That feels right to me. My grandfather used to say, waste nothing and harm nothing you don't have to. I think about that a lot when I'm out here with a spray bottle. So here's your weekend, plain as I can make it. Saturday morning, swing by the store. 1 bottle of pure peppermint essential oil. A spray bottle if you don't have one. A bag of cotton balls. Under $5, all in. Saturday afternoon, mix the spray. Water, a tablespoon of dish soap, 15 to 20 drops of peppermint. Shake it, then soak 10 or 12 cotton balls in straight oil and tuck them up under every eave, every soffit corner, inside the grill, around the swing set, under the patio furniture. Mist the railings and the door frames. If you've got a small starter nest up there, wait till dusk, suit up, soak it, knock it down, walk away. Refresh the spray once a week. Refresh the cotton balls every 2 or 3 weeks. $3 a season. No contract, no truck in the driveway, no dead bees in the flower bed. Now look, wasps are just one critter on a long list, and every one of them has a cheap, clean way to handle it that the contract folks would rather you never learn. Carpenter bees, ants, mice, roaches, ticks, mosquitoes, spiders, yellow jackets in the ground, all of it. I put the whole thing, every pest, every recipe, every shopping list, every dollar amount, into a guide I call the Chemical-Free Pest Bible. Links right under this video if you want it. Before you go, though, do me a favor. Down in the comments, tell me what's buzzing around your porch this year, and tell me what state you're in. Paper wasps, yellow jackets, hornets, mud daubers. I want to know what you're up against and where, because the timing on this stuff slides 3 or 4 weeks depending on whether you're in Georgia or Michigan. I read the comments. I answer what I can. Next time we're going to talk about carpenter bees, those big fat ones drilling holes in your deck railing and your barn beams. There's a $4 fix for them too, and it does not involve a tennis racket, although I will admit the tennis racket is fun, and Dale has a whole story about that one I might let him tell himself. Alright, the street light just came on, the nest is on the ground, the beagle has stopped writing my obituary, and my wife is about to notice the broom. Take care of your bees. I'm Walt. I'll be out back.